Hi guys, hello strivers. I must say it's always great to be with you all during these monthly live sessions. It's 11:30 sharp IST in India, and let's start this session with a bang. Let's rock today because today we'll be talking about the authority advantage. I mean, how to become the most trusted name in your industry. I mean, everybody wants to do that, especially all of you strivers and leaders out here, Stardom Circle members. So let's talk about those things. Let me share my strategies. Let me share the little research I have done about this topic. And I would love to get your feedback and also your questions and your comments helps me create more such sessions in the future, because every month we are going live now. Since the past 4 months, it's been amazing journey so far. And as you know, last 3 months sessions will be available in the members area. If you are a premium member, you have access to those replays of the past 3 months. The January session is going to go permanently out of the system now, because we only keep 3 months of replays in the members area. All right. So if you're not at a premium member, consider becoming a premium member, because there are many more benefits like LinkedIn post parties and the access to our courses, access to our members area, where you will find a lot of different strategies, leadership communication, things that help you get to the top 1%. All right. So yes, it's 11:30 and I'm so glad all of you are here. Different people from different cultures, different industries, and different levels of leadership. So and at every level, you need more influence, you need more authority, you need more uh, the leadership to rise above and make sure your communication is heard, make sure your ideas are shared, make sure your stories are well received. And let's also try to figure out and solve this problem of people saying that I don't understand, I don't get you, I don't understand you, because that happens when we let that chasm build between us and our team members. So let's try to build that bridge today, and and make sure that our communication, our voice, our message passes through, reaches a lot of people. And let me help you do that. So let me start sharing my screen. And yeah, as usual, I have put together a nice little presentation for you. I'll be in this little corner here, but your focus is on this presentation, where I will walk you through this entire session. All right. So now we have, let me start this session with sharing a little paradox here. Um, right now, someone far less experienced than you is probably commanding more attention, more trust, charging higher fees, perhaps, and getting featured as an industry expert, right in front of you, not because they are better, not because they are smarter, or not because they are working harder, because all these things are happening because they are, I would say, more visible and more trusted. That's today, the most trusted, the most visible people get all the attention, the winner takes all. So it's not just enough if you are good enough, great enough. It is also important that you are more visible enough for people, because attention span, as you know, is coming down every day. More and more people, earlier it was enough to just do like a 30-minute video on YouTube. There were hardly any videos, and you would get that attention. Today you don't get that command, that same level of attention and respect from people. You need to work hard, you need to do more than that. Let's explore. And when others who don't even know 10% of what you know, if they are shining, meanwhile leaders, genuine leaders, good people like you, who have built real businesses with real experiences, solve complex problems, you don't just sit there running your business. You're every day you're solving complex problems for yourself and your clients and your customers and deliver real results for them. That's why people come to you. That's why you're in business. While doing all these great things as a striver, you're being overlooked sometimes, or undervalued, or underestimated many times. Why? Because in today's world, authority isn't just earned by what you do, it's earned by how well you position yourself as an authority. You know, let me say it again. Authority isn't just earned by what you do, it is earned by how well you position your authority. And the hard truth, unfortunately, is if people don't perceive you as a trusted authority in your space, someone else will fill that space. So it cannot lay void or vacant. Someone else will be filling that, even if they don't try it. The next most visible person will fill the actual position that is reserved, or that you deserve the most. So this session is about fixing that. It's about turning your reputation, turning your credibility, and your hard-earned expertise into undeniable authority that attracts attention from the right kind of people, gets more influence for you, and of course more opportunities that can come along with these things without you needing to constantly chase these opportunities, right? So let's explore, let's go, let's figure out how to make all these things happen. Number one, I will share my framework. I will share some case studies, some examples. In today's noisy competitive world, trust is the new currency. This is the currency that works today, trust. Earlier it was finance. Before that it was like your factories, your ideas used to be the currency back then. Today ideas are dime a dozen. Today trust is the currency, and authority is the highest leverage advantage that you can get. And this session will teach you how to rise above this noise, and become the first name that comes to people's mind in your industry, your name that people trust, quote, and probably choose in your space, in your industry. Let's see how to get to these levels, and let's also explore and learn how to do three things. Number one, differentiate between visibility, credibility, and authority. There's a big difference between all three: visibility, credibility, and authority. And create and communicate trust signals, what we call as trust signals in your brand presence. How to do that. And also let's learn how to build earned authority, what we call as earned authority, that positions you as a go-to expert. How to do that. And also let me share a framework for sustainable influence, what you need to do in order to sustain your influence. All right. So now, why is all this important? First of all, the market is noisy. A lot of people making a lot of noises everywhere. There are so many players, and you need to create your value distinction, what we call it, so that people understand, okay, there are all these different experts who are doing all these different things, but here's one that is higher value. Let's say you're a surgeon, for example, a neurosurgeon. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of neurosurgeons in your city. How will people choose which surgeon to go and consult? Or let's say there's a medical conference coming up. Somebody wants a neurosurgeon to come and talk. How do they know? Who do they go after? The most visible surgeon, right? Not all of them, the most visible one. So, because nobody can, evaluate a neurosurgeon other than other neurosurgeons, or some better surgeons. So that's why we say market is noisy. There are a lot of people. Earlier it was like one person in the entire city. So whatever happens, you go to this person. Now there are many. So the market is noisy. Trust is scarce at the same time. Market is noisy. Trust is low. Trust is scarce. And attention That's why it becomes expensive. Expensive. Early on in the, because I come from the marketing industry, digital marketing, internet marketing, decades ago, views and attentions were in dimes, cents. It used to cost just cents to get views. Today, it costs in the hundreds of dollars range. So the attention, the expense of the cost of attention has gone up thousands of times, not just 5x, 10x, 100x, 1000x. What used to cost like 1 cent views, today there's nothing you can get for 1 cent. No views, nothing. I'm talking about social media advertising. All right. So attention has become expensive. Why? Because there is a deluge of new content. The market is noisy. Trust is so low. People don't even, give you that attention. That is why it is expensive and important. And even the most skilled professionals lose opportunities not because of lack of competence or lack of skills. They are skilled, they are competent, but because they haven't built that perceived authority. Perceived authority. That's what the people think, or your audience think about you when you're not around. That is influence, that is perceived authority. They did not build that perceived authority, so they don't get that opportunity, or they don't get that chance, they don't get that business, they don't get that revenue. All these things happens because people don't perceive them as an authority in their field, in their industry, and not because they are less skilled or less competent or less of an expert in anything. They may be the best, but still lose opportunity because they did not have this attention. Now, according to Edelman's Trust Barometer, that's this study, 68% of all decision makers, they said that thought leadership improves their perception of a brand. Let's say, for example, there's PepsiCo is a brand, Coca-Cola is a brand, Tata is a brand. There are thousands of brands, probably hundreds of thousands of brands. You are a brand too. Your company's name is a brand as well. 68% decision makers say thought leadership improves their perception of a brand, but only 17% say the majority of it is good enough to build trust. It's not just enough to have a brand or a brand name or the brand equity. You also need the trust with this brand to take it up to the higher levels, to the next level. That is why thinking about authority and this session becomes so important for all of you. Let's move on. And I would say, like, if you're not actively, you should write this down. If you're not actively building authority, you're defaulting to invisibility or, worst case, skepticism. Because people think nowadays, I have seen this happen amongst our authors as well. Like, we publish experts, entrepreneurs, CEOs, surgeons, a lot of people. So one of our surgeon authors used to say, before her book was published, he said, I was just like anybody else. And people were even thinking, they were always coming back and asking me, Ram, that why haven't you written a book yet? She's earned her degrees, multiple degrees, decades of experience. But people think if she has done all this, if she is that good, maybe by this time she should be a published author. Why has she not published a book? And people start questioning her abilities because she has not built that authority. So if you don't do that, you default to becoming invisible, that people don't even see you, that this kind of an expert exists here, or they will even start questioning the capabilities, the abilities, and the expertise itself. Are you for real? That's the question people ask. But let's fix that. Let's understand this power of authority. This the doctor I told you about, it's the same story. For many of our authors, many of our leaders. We recently started our leadership programs at Stardom Books, where we help our leaders, create their leadership. First of all, strategize the leadership communication, and then use our teams and our resources to create strategic leadership content, customized content, to build their authority so that they can use this power of authority. And to give an example, uh, Robert Kiyosaki, for example, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you should see his interview. It is published, it's available online. Before he became an author, after he became an author, and even after that, even after he wrote his book, before he went on to Oprah show, and after, what happened? So that is the power of a person is the same author, same person, same skill set. Before book, after promotions. Big exponential differences, And same thing happened with me too. Before I published, I have written and published 5 books now. One of my most recent books that is getting published is on the way is Why Every Entrepreneur Must Publish a Book, Must Write a Book. So it's so fun, when people see that you're a published author, even if they don't read your book, they see you as an authority. They perceive you as an authority. All right. So that is how trust and visibility, they two combine, they two converge on this and create that undeniable authority. So in order to create that undeniable authority, you need these two elements, trust and visibility. Trust has to be built and it has to be visible. So when these two pivotal elements combine together, that's when you create that unquestionable authority, undeniable authority. They cannot see in the eyes or see using that filter of skepticism at all, because now it is established. Let's see how to do that. First of all, it's about, let me share this authority flywheel kind of model so that you can get this easily and quickly. So my job as a coach is to break these abstract concepts like trust and authority and all into doable, actionable steps, because at the core I am a coach. So let me just break this down for you. Authority, according to me, isn't built overnight. It will take time. It's built through intentional repetition. You need to do several things repeatedly, and results and also resonance. Repetition, results, and resonance. So I want to call it as the authority flywheel because it has 3 components. Let me see. Here it is. Number 1 is trust. So trust comes from credibility and consistency. So what is credibility? Like, people need to understand that you are a credible person and you are credible consistently, not just once. So that's when trust will build. So you are a person of integrity. It is not just once that people have to know about it. They need to know, yes, this person is a person of integrity and this person has demonstrated the integrity over a period of time repeatedly. So you need to continuously, repeatedly, consistently be credible. So credibility plus consistency builds trust. The next part of the flywheel is positioning, of course. So positioning is that unique point of view and messaging that distinguishes you. There are so many people who may be having the same cred as you, same level of trust as you, but what makes you different or you an authority is your position higher. And how to do that higher? That is the unique point of view and your messaging, how you talk, how you communicate, how you position. What is your message to the world? How do you communicate with your people? All these things create that point of view with your audience. So that is your position. And the third thing is, now you have the positioning, you have the authority. Now it's time to amplify this, blow it up, take it to new levels. That is obtained by visibility through strategic channels. Not just by making noise, by doing so many things, by talking on social media, doing live videos. Everything needs to be strategic and planned and executed for maximum amplification. So when you have trust, when you are having that position and you amplify your position, that will start spinning your authority flywheel. And when these three elements spin in sync, you're building trust, you're having positioning, and then amplification. They start happening one after the other in sync. That's what creates unstoppable momentum, my friends. Unstoppable momentum, because momentum becomes very important. It's not that like one time spur, one time buzz, one time you appeared in the new local newspaper. That's not going to be enough to create that authority. You need to repeatedly keep happening, keep making this, this authority flywheel spinning for you, so that you're always on the top of mind. Whenever there is a need in your industry, in your topic, some keywords in your topic come up, your name should come up. That is authority. So that is how this works. Let's continue. Let's figure out how to think or how to figure this out, how to think through this concept or this big idea. So first of all is a mindset shift, I would say. Like the first thing is, it happened to me in my career as well. First, I had to go from thinking, from promoting to position. That is the first mindset shift. So instead of promoting, you should look at positioning. How do I position myself as an expert? In my case, how do I position myself as an expert leadership publishing guide or a coach or a publisher? So that was my positioning. There are many hundreds of others who might be teaching publishing, just the aspect of publishing, but I created my own blue ocean by helping leaders with strategic positioning, strategic publishing, using publishing. And my one of my trademarks is book as a strategy boss. So how to use your book as a strategy? So that's what helped me create that unique positioning for myself. And that's what you need to do. Promoting is advertising. Positioning is authority. So that will start attracting people to you like a magnet. So the second mindset shift I got is going from being a content creator. Today, everybody is a content creator. You upgrade to a category authority in your category, in your industry. So content creation, today, anyone who is having a phone or a mobile phone can whip up their camera and start talking, and they put it online, offline. It can go on YouTube. Billions of hours of content are available on YouTube now. You name a topic, it's there already. So how do you see, these kind of strategies are important nowadays? Other coaches maybe and digital marketing specialists, so-called, they're all teaching, go create content online, go create videos, post it. But who's going to watch? Unless you're the category leader, you're the authority in your topic. The topic authority gets 99% of all the views. That's what happens. 1% is shared like scraps between all the other players in that authority. The person, like if you build that authority in your field, in your industry, in your theme, in your topic, whatever that might be, subject, then you get 99% of all the attention. That's why you need to upgrade yourself. Or mindset shift as to you're not just a content creator, you're a category leader. From content creator to category leader, from promoting to positioning, from visibility chaser to trusted guide. Of course, you need visibility, but how do you get that visibility? Not just chase visibility. That chasing visibility means, asking all your friends to like your video. I get dozens of messages every week on LinkedIn, and many of them are my good friends. They post links to their articles or videos, their posts, and ask me to go like it, read it. I'm not their target audience. That is chasing visibility. What if you become the trusted guide in your topic? People come to you. they like your work, they get engaged. They talk about you even when you're not around, and they chase you down wherever you are. So three mindset shifts: promoting to positioning, content creator to industry or category leader, and visibility, a chaser to trusted guide or authority. So the big idea is authority is not declared. You don't just declare I'm an authority in this topic. It's earned. You earn it. But this can be engineered. It can be hastened. It can be made. The process can be made faster, more efficient, but it is always earned, not declared. All right. So now here's the 5-part authority advantage framework that I was talking about. So if not any of this today's session, I want you to pay real attention, very close focus on this, and write down the notes if you want. And if you are not a premium member to Stardom Circle, you won't get the replay. So, and we are not also going to post this online anywhere, YouTube, anywhere. So at least a few months from now. So go ahead and make notes and start using these strategies in your business or in your career right away. I call it the 5-part authority advantage framework. I'm going to give you these 5 steps that you can implement today and start getting the benefit of gaining and building this, earning this authority right away. Step 1, you need to do this. A stands for authority, by the way, on the graphic here. Step 1 is define your authority. That is the very first step, or identify your core message. The goal here is to narrow your focus to own a space in your audience's mind for this specific specialty. You can be a master of multiple specialties. I don't say that you must choose just one, but you need to do this exercise for each and every niche in your industry or in your space, in your audience's mind. You may be thinking that you are the best person in this category, but that's not, that's important for your self-esteem. But what's more important here to gain authority is that thought it should be in your audience's mind as well. So how do you do that? Number 1, write down or figure out what that one big problem that you solve for your audience better than anyone else. What's that one big problem that you solve for your audience better than, that's the keyword, better than anyone else. So when you make a list of all these problems that you solve, you will come across this one big thing. Now you filter this, brainstorm this, and then filter this. Shortlist to top 3 and then choose one. That's the one big problem that you solve better than anyone else. And then who are you solving this problem for? Which means, who's this specific audience you're most qualified to help? In my case, I am most, my specific audience include the top leaders, the thought leaders in different industries. One aspect of my business that I told you about, we started leadership communication program that is specifically for leaders, which means CEOs who are in charge of leadership communication because they need leadership communication and they can't afford to communicate in a mediocre way. They can't depend on their PR teams or somebody else to write their leadership content. So they need to do it on their own because they need to communicate their vision, communicate their strategy, and reach and connect with their audience at deeper levels. It could be their teams, it could be their customers, clients, prospects, management team. So they need to keep connecting with all these different stakeholders at deeper levels, authentically, transparently, with their personality. That's why they can't outsource this. So that is what I help. That is where, so that is very specific. So like that, you need to figure out who is the specific audience you're most qualified to help. Question number 3, you need to answer yourself is, what do you want to be known as? This is kind of a hypothetical question. What do you want to be known for 5 years from now? 5 years, think about it, 5 years from now. Do you want to be known as the expert in this topic 5 years from now? Or you want to be known as this specialist? Or you want to be known as the most sought after guy, the most expensive guy? It possible. You want to be the most specialist? Like I serve only these kind of people. I usually say we serve our clients at world-class levels, publishing levels. We don't do any other aspect of publishing like novels or just publishing, just printing. We don't do that. We take care of the entire process of strategic communication, leadership communication, where publishing is also part of this plan. So like that. What do you want to be known for 5 years from now? So write down your authority positioning statement, which goes like this. Let me give you the statement as well. It goes like this. Write it down. I help blank, that is your audience. I help CEOs. I help leaders. I help my patients. I help health conscious people. Whatever the group of people is, narrower the better. Even if you are doing things like personality development, narrower the better. I help audience, that's where you fill in your audience, solve then the problem, define the exact problem that they are facing, that you are solving. I help my audience solve the problem through. Then comes your method or your value. Keep it as simple as possible. For example, I can say, I help CEOs solve the leadership communication problems through strategic publishing. I help CEOs solve the daily leadership communication problems, more specific is better, through leadership strategic communication or strategic leadership communication. That is my exercise. Do your exercise. Step number 2, after you have done this, if you are watching the replay, pause the video, complete this step, and go to the next one. Step number 2 is now build trust through proof. People need proof nowadays. It's not just enough if I say, I help you write books. I should demonstrate. So that's why I had to write 5 books, take them all to bestseller ranks, and then teach people how to do that. And that's how I gained this proof. So the goal is to create the trust signals across your brand, across your messaging and your online presence as well. And proof comes in different flavors. Number 1 is social proof, which means what other people are talking about. Case studies. How did you help? What did you do? All these case studies, technical. This appeals to the analytical minds. And second kind of social proof is testimonials. So you collect testimonials from your client, from your audience, from someone who has benefited from your work or your advice or your suggestion or your personality, whatever it is. And also sometimes proof also comes from the logos of your clients. You all seen that, right? People put on their we have worked or we are working with, or our clients include all these different logos, or we have been featured on all these different newspapers, national newspapers, all these different websites. All these things will add a lot of social proof. And the second way is media credibility. So to build trust, which is also part of what I just said. It goes as seen in. They mention on their website as seen in on maybe the Times or New York Times, or there are a lot of different or seen in Wikipedia maybe, or as seen in this this government publication, so like, or this university, like that. So, and also media credibility also comes from guest features, like you get invited as a guest to give a lecture, to participate in a panel, and also comes from your partners and endorsements from other people who are um, known in their own circles. Even in the publishing industry, it happens. You have seen, like many of our authors, they get their forewords for their books written by industry leaders. You know, um, for example, one of our authors gets Nandan Nilekani to write a foreword, or Imtiaz Ali to write a foreword for his book. So that's when you get to piggyback on the trust that others have already built in the market. So that is media credibility. Third way of credibility or building the trust is through reputation, which means consistent behavior, good behavior, great values, and the tone of your communication that will create your reputation in the long run. So, how do people perceive you? How do can they trust you because you have been consistently trustworthy? And what kind of values do the values align? They want to deal with someone truthful. So, are you truthful? This particular area of service or business, let's say, requires uh, empathy. So the empathy is the value there. So do you demonstrate empathy? Or maybe your area requires deep analytical skills or deep financial skills, maybe math. So do you have those values? Do you have those skills? And also the most important is the tone, how you communicate. Will the tone align with the tone match? So that will build reputation in the long run. And also trust accelerators make important contributions, which includes, of course, authoring a book. Writing and publishing a book will take you like higher up in this trust ladder very quickly. And also keynote talks, whether you are invited to give keynotes, and whether you are in advisory roles in different organizations. So all these things will add to your trust accelerator, and becoming an author will actually open up these kind of opportunities for our authors as well. We'll figure out that later. And also, I want to share an activity here, like a kind of a checklist. So evaluate your current online trust signals, which means how people perceive you, how people trust you on LinkedIn, Google, maybe, or your website or your social media, whichever channel that you use, and understand these three elements. One is what's missing, and two, what feels outdated. Do you have your outdated picture over there, or you have outdated bio over there? Many people have not revisited their LinkedIn profiles from the time they have created it. You know, that might be 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We don't know. I mean, I don't think 20 years ago, because 20 years ago, LinkedIn wasn't even there. All right. At least it sometimes it is many, many years ago. So revisit and tweak your LinkedIn bio, LinkedIn pictures. See what's missing. See what feels outdated. See what needs highlighting. Maybe last year, 5 years ago, you are focused on something. Today, you might be focused on something else. Today, you might be working on some cutting edge new AI technology. 2 years ago, you revisited, you visited your bio, your online abouts, and or maybe even your website. There are so many websites that are outdated. I mean, it's people who are experts in this experts industry, leadership industry. They don't have the time to go and fix their websites every day. They do it as a task, assign a team for that, and they, kind of outsource this part and never go back to that again, because there are a lot of other things that leaders are doing, they're responsible for, and they think it is all done automatically updated. But no, you need to go revisit. That's going to be your evaluation for step 2 in order to build your trust. Step 3 is develop your signature IP. What do I mean by that? Develop your signature IP. So the goal here is to make your ideas memorable, easy to convey, teachable, and also ownable. You should be able to make that as your IP. This graphic, for example, that you're seeing on the screen now, that's my IP. I can go register this. I own this. It's not available anywhere else. I created this. So you need to make this idea. I could have given you a big, lengthy, long lecture on this. Instead, I thought I will create a framework out of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wanted 5 steps to create that authority. That became an IP. Now, you can also do this. You need to create your framework or a model or a picture or a methodology. Put it in the form of a diagram or an image. It doesn't matter if you're not creative enough to draw something. Even hand-drawn ideas are good or great. Actually, they're better. So, and give your approach a name. I call this one my authority blueprint. The kind of ideas that we put it together. So give it a name, make it shareable, so others can also start referencing you. And in fact, this is what I teach in our authority. For our authors who leaders who want to become authors, I teach all these concepts. We have an entire course on this that will help them figure out these kind of strategies before they write their book. I mean, it's no fun. That is why not everyone will be able to write and publish a book that they're proud to present. Because most people will think writing a book means sharing their personal journey or a biography. That's why they say, what have I done? What interesting stories I may have that I want to write a book about? No, that's not what they need to write a book about. They need to write a book about their insights, sharing their perspective, sharing these kind of models inside the book. And that's what these world famous millions of copies sold books are all about. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, millions of copies sold. It has one framework. You remember? ESBI. That is a framework. This is a framework, what you're seeing. So create your own framework, make it shareable, because people trust systems. So create your own system. And my system here is every month I'm going live at Stardom Circle, teaching all this interesting and not available anywhere kind of stuff that I meticulously, carefully put together, create for all of you to consume. All right. So that becomes a system. So you can create your own system. That is step number 3. Step number 4 is show up where it matters. As simple as it sounds, the goal is to be visible where your ideal audience already pays attention, which means, for example, in my case, my ideal audience are mostly found on LinkedIn because it's professional network, it's B2B. I only deal with leaders in different industries, and most of them have their LinkedIn, and maybe they're also on Instagram or Facebook, but that's not where most of my audience would spend time on. My audience, ideally my audience are on LinkedIn, so I want to be more active on LinkedIn. Maybe I'm not that active on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube because my audience is not there. So choose 2 to 3 channels that are very specific to your audience. Maybe LinkedIn, maybe podcast, maybe guest columns, or YouTube, whichever that platform, Instagram, whichever platform is your where your audience already pays their attention. I usually want to advise, start with one channel, master that, build that audience, and then go to another one if really required, because this one channel is good. But again, you need to create that fallback alternative. What happens if LinkedIn shuts down someday? So that's why 2. But first build the one and then build the second one. And then be consistent in your first channel before you expand to another channel. Let's say if you are known for posting one good quality article every week on LinkedIn, consistently do that. Not just when you get this idea, or once in a while, or arbitrarily. That's what hurts. Initially, you may not see much traction. Initially, let's say first week you post a good quality article. Excuse me. You may not even get any likes, except from your cousin or your brother or your staff members. Maybe week 2, week 3, week 4. And during the entire year, you have built so much traction that will start exponential. during the course of time. So now also show up with high value content. Don't just post some arbitrary, or someone passed on some message to you, want to forward that, WhatsApp forwards and all these things. Create your own content, make it high value. And because you're in leadership roles, you're building trust, so make it trustworthy high value content rooted in your framework. In the last time you created the framework, right? Make sure all your content is about your framework, right? But you can have multiple frameworks as well. It doesn't mean that you should just stick to one thing. And then plan your visibility strategy. I would do this. If I had to start planning my visibility strategy, I would choose one main platform. I would choose the type of content that I want to put out, and also the frequency. So type of content means whether you want to just put a picture or a video or a lengthy article, whatever it is, make sure it is high quality. All right, high quality and consistency. You can choose. If you want to do it monthly, fine. If you want to do it twice a month, that is fine. Daily, that is also fine. But choose and stay consistent. Step number 5 is to build authority. Is activating your authority loop, which means you create that feedback loop of influence. Once you start doing this, you'll start gaining more influence. Influence leads to more trust, and trust leads to more opportunity, and opportunity again leads to more influence, which means you start by speaking about your topic, and then publish about your topic, and then repurpose the same thing that is created to different channels, and then engage with your audience, maybe Q&As, discussions, and again repeat this. Turn every piece of content into social proof and authority assets. That's what we do at Leadership Communication, because we spend so much time with our leaders, gathering their personality, asking questions, interviews. We create that big repository of content, very high quality content, and then we start repurposing this content into various different forms, including a book, of course. We will publish a book, but we will also publish white papers. We also publish videos created out of this. We also publish images like this, the one that you see on the screen now, like this, audio, podcast. There's so many different ways you can turn a piece of content. Once it is a high quality content, and that can be turned into many different derivative content pieces as well. And then use your positioning then to pitch media, to pitch stage, and pitch business opportunities. That will become easier. So because when you're an author, let's say, you go and position to the media, like I'm an author of this topic, so I need to, can I write a column in your in your newspaper? Becomes easier. And then pitching to stages. So most often book authors, especially business authors, they get invited. And many top ones, if you're really good at speaking as well, you will even get paid. Keynotes, for example, in the US, people charge I've seen $50,000 to speak, and I have charged $10,000, $20,000 to speak and give keynotes as well to large organizations. That is very common. Plus, they also take care of all your expenses. And of course, with more authority, more business opportunities will come your way, and you get to build even bigger authority. This is the framework that I wanted to teach you. Now, let me also share a quick case study here, which includes the story of Simon Sinek here and Robert Kiyosaki just mentioned. So, how they published their work, how they communicated their authority, and you see the framework there, the two frameworks. That's what I want you to build. It's very simple, hand-drawn. Simon Sinek's model, the golden circle, are just 3 concentric circles. The first circle is the why, second is how, and the third one is what. And he goes on to explain this, and he became world famous doing this. And his books sold millions of copies, selling even today. That opened a lot of opportunities. Name, fame, wealth, big opportunities, travels, everything. Same thing happened with Robert Kiyosaki here as well. As I mentioned earlier, you can see the EBIS or EBESBI framework, which made him really, really famous. And then one book that they published together went on to become multiple dozens of books, and I think 14, 15 different cash flow related books came out with the same authors, with some of them with co-authored by people like Donald Trump, for example, co-authored one of the books. So like that, and this entire philosophy of cash flow quadrant is based on this one IP, one framework that you just learned today, didn't you? So this is how the visibility, the influence, and revenue outcomes make a drastic leap when you have that authority. And hope this has motivated you or inspired you to start your own journey in this authority um, related ideas. So I also want to share some do's and don'ts with you today. Let's start with the do's. First of all, do define a clear niche. Define a clear niche, which is very important. And also, always speak. Do speak your message often, consistently. That is the keyword, consistently. Focus on the results, not noise. Focus always on the result. That's one of the do's. And turn content into teachable ideas. We just learned how to do that. Teachable content into teachable ideas. And what not to do. Don't try to appeal to everyone, because that's where the messaging gets diluted, less effective, doesn't appeal to everyone. So don't try to appeal to everyone or include everyone in your audience. Specific is better. Broad doesn't work. Now, don't over rely on design or performance without substance. I mean, I have seen so many people get obsessed over the design, the color scheme. My slides have to look like this and this. No, doesn't matter. What matters is the substance. What matters is how authentic you are, how genuine you are, how much effort you have put in to make this possible. I mean, these slides that we have seen today, I don't know whether any of these slides had any typos or mistakes or colors here and there, fonts, bigger, smaller, you couldn't see. Doesn't matter. What matters is the substance, whether it was useful for you, whether it was beneficial for you. That's what matters. So don't over rely on design or performance without the substance. Don't hide your credibility assets. I mean, be proud. I am so proud that I have helped 260 leaders from all over the world take book as a strategy, use their book as a strategy, write, publish, market their books. I helped them. I coached them. I worked as their publisher. I'm so happy about it. I am also proud about my credibility as publishing 5 books myself, written and published myself. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? So don't hide your credibility assets. Don't think it is blowing your own horn, because today you need to show that you're credible. People will not find out about your credibility on their own. You need to display, you need to make it visible. Otherwise, the reason is the markets are noisy. Remember? And also, don't wait to be invited. Don't wait for people to recognize you. Don't wait for this industry association to come and meet you. Don't wait, position yourself. You reach out with your positioning, of course. You become an author, send a copy. That will position you. They will then reach out to you. Don't wait, okay, let them all people come and reach out to me. See that I am an expert, and then they ask them to ask me to write a book, and then I will write a book. I mean, that's not going to happen in this lifetime, is it? Think about it. Now, let's also think about what's the first thing to do now. First of all, download your workbook. For Stardom Circle members, everything that we discussed today, I have built a nice, neat, fill in the blank kind of workbook for all of you. If you are a premium member, go ahead and download the workbook. If you are not a premium member, become a premium member and download the workbook. You can access all the workbooks of the previous month's replays and workbooks as well. And remember the authority positioning statement we discussed earlier in this session. Do that. After this session, these are the list of things you do. Write down your authority positioning statement. Audit your top 3 digital trust signals. Audit them. How you are doing on your top 3 digital trust signals. audit them, evaluate them, revisit them if required, and then create or promise yourself that you're going to create one high quality, authority driven content piece this week. Either you create a video or an article or a post or an image, whatever it is, create one thing that you feel proud to present, authority driven, without using, don't use chat gpt or any other tools like that, because that is someone else's content, isn't it? It doesn't reflect your personality. Do something on your own. Don't worry about the mistakes or how good it looks. Don't judge yourself. Put it out there genuinely and tag me. I want to look at it. If you are on my list, if you are connected, tag me on that. I would love to look at it. All right. Or I look at all my, I handle personally all my LinkedIn posts. So, and see all my messages. I do have a team that takes care of all our social media outreach, but not my personal account. All right. I manage my personal account, my personal messages. I reply personally, and all the emails I handle myself. So create one authority-driven content piece, like a video or an article or a post, and tag your favorite people and see how it happens. And then do this repeatedly, consistently. And the next thing to do is, as I told you, if you're not a Stardom Circle member, become a member, because you can unlock replays, access the full gain course, which is inside Stardom Circle, and also enjoy $4,000 worth of benefits right there, right now. Plus, you also gain access to the other advanced sessions like this every month for the entire year, plus replays, workbooks, and all the access. And if you are already a Stardom Circle member, schedule a call with our publishing advisors, discuss your authority playbook, discuss your book idea, or discuss your leadership communication as well, or go to our website at stardombooks.com. And if you are a thought leader, go to stardombooks.com/leaders and explore our brand new Star Leaders leadership communication programs as well. Most probably you will love it, and it will probably align well with your leadership communication that we learned today in this session as well. I hope this session helped you, was useful to you. And if you like this, don't keep it to yourself, share it with others. Become Stardom Circle members, promote Stardom Circle, because people can join for free and attend these kind of sessions online every month. And more the people, merrier it is. I want to make a big difference with all of you, and I want to grow with you, along with you. Let's all grow together. All right. So once again, another session of Stardom Circle complete, live session, monthly session completes today. If you have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the chat box or email me or respond to one of our emails. I will see and reply to all of your messages personally. That's a promise. All right. Now have a good day ahead, good week ahead. And I would love to see your leadership communication, your authority building posts or authority building content pieces. Please tag me. Feel free to invite me to look at your content. All right. Thank you so much for joining all of us here. I'm going to end this session now. So hope it was useful. Thank you so much.